has been in love with the BMW S1000XR since it came out 5 years ago. Now he has a son. The BMW F900XR clearly shines in a deep red color. We'll never forget to own a BMW S1000XR for 18 months in 2016-17. Used the beast to cover more than 10,000 miles of everything from sailing to shops, to weekend blasts to the countryside and multiple trips to Laguna Seca, and was completely blown away by it still like that. So, I will admit to being somewhat taken aback when BMW announced at the 2019 EICMA show that it is rolling out the smaller XR in a bid to get a new bum in BMW seat. At that time, didn't really understand why. BMW already has the F850R, which later became the F900, the same platform used to make this XR variant. Plus there are 13 other GS models, count, to choose from, so it's not like the rider doesn't have many other options to spend the money on. Owning the F900XR for a few weeks until the end of 2020, can read Kit Palmer's full launch report on the 2020 BMW F900XR here. And at that point it proved to be quite a horse for most of the tasks left to it, even though there were some overflowing frustration. The BMW F900 range from the R and XR uses the same chassis and fully revised twin parallel motors which now sit at 895 cc, pumping out a claimed 99 horsepower and 67 pound-feet of torque. However, instead of going for the Dynamic Pro option on the XR test, getting the base model with no extras, so no dynamic traction control, engine brake control, wheel control, or cruise control, that last point stings a bit. Weighs the XR at 495.1 pounds with a full 4.1 gallon tank of gas, which puts it on average bikes like the Yamaha Tracer 900 GT. Claimed 485 pounds, and Ducati Multistrada 950, claimed 500 pounds. Despite having a non-adjustable front suspension, BMW has done a good job with the ride comfort of the XR. It's certainly gentler than one would like for road performance, but for 99% of the driving activity covered, including traffic jams and some weekend scooters, the XR delivers a luxurious ride and has a cornering quiet that beats its size. Be in an adventure-style riding position with the XR, and it's one you can sit on for days. BMW also mounts its couch seats, which I didn't like when I tested the 1000 XR last year. Don't really mind it on the 900 variant. The 895cc twin makes for an almost robotic drone, much like the flat twin in the BMW lineup, and there's plenty of torque on the taps. The motor pulls well from as low as 2,500 revolutions per minute, but runs out of puff once it reaches around 8,000 revolutions per minute. It is best to keep the rotation around 7,000 revolutions per minute, which is past the peak torque point. There, performance is always at the ready, and it's surprising how fast you can get up to speed on the 900 XR. However, it would be remiss not to mention the lack of finesse when it comes to gearboxes. The test bike was not equipped with a quickshifter, and although the XR suffered no missed shifts, heavy gear changes, notched touches and stubbornly refused to be neutral at traffic lights if ridden for more than 5 minutes. The only time it will go into neutral is when turning off the engine. Not an ideal situation. These complaints aside, the base XR model is a good thing, especially when considering BMW's extensive aftermarket catalog that it wants. Everything from the trunk to the performance add-ons is ready to serve, and you can choose from 900 to the same specs as the 1000 XR, engineless, of course. As for getting a new bum in the seat, the 900 XR has a good chance of doing it for BMW. Still, it's a big, full-sized bike, so maybe the smaller F750 GS variant would do better in this regard. The BMW lineup is now fairly complete, and if you dream of crossing the country in a short amount of time with 1000 XR, 900 XR is a good place to start.